Today, we're going to have a series of conversations, and today I decided that we're going to talk about college. And is it worth going to college? The short answer is no, absolutely not. But we're going to start with a topic or the issue that we have right now with student loan debt. We have people that are still in forbearance. We have people that are, I don't even say people, we're going to say just in general, our country in general is having issues with finances. We have a lot of job losses. We have deportation going on. And all of this stuff going on at one time means that there's going to be a lot of effects and a lot of changes going forward with our administration, with our country, and in the direction that we go in. So, school, college, student loans. Let's just look at it like this. You went to college and got, let's just say $50,000 worth of student loan debt. Let's say it's 50,000. Good round number. You put in 4 years or 2. You didn't go to a trade school. You just went straight to an institution. You went to a 4-year institution. You were there. You probably didn't work a job. You was probably a full-time student. You probably pledged or was part of a sorority or a fraternity or social group or club or whatever. You had a good time. You went to all the activities. You was engaged. You had decent grades. You had a good GPA. You spent all this time there. You got done. You stayed at home for a little bit trying to figure out what you wanted to do. Your parents may have pushed you out. They may have gotten tired of you sitting around the house. Or let's just say that you was hustling and you was trying to provide. You was trying to figure it out. And the opportunities didn't necessarily come because of the lack of experience in the field that you was trying to get into. So you had to do something different. You have all these different things going on, and you thought or was under the impression that going to college, going to school, or whatever was the route to go. Or let's just say that wasn't even you. Say it was your parents. Say it was your grandfather. Say it was your aunt. They pushed you to going to college. And you just decided to just, hey, I want to get done. I want to finish. When I get done, they insisted that, hey, that's how you're going to get a start. For baby boomers, that might have been the case. May have been the case. For Gen X, it may be a lot different. There was a time where a degree or education mattered more. It carried more weight. There wasn't as many people with an education or with a degree or with your expertise or your skill set. Now it's saturated. There's more people with your education, your experience. And guess what? Now, instead of you being at home without the technology, your Indeed platforms, your different job searches, different ways of people finding other, employees. Now you could just stretch your search across the country. You got the man, I'm having a brain fart right now. This is bad. You got your H-1B visa programs. And guess what? Those individuals, those immigrants, or those individuals might be more skilled than you. But the program is in place for specialty programs. So you went to college. You put in all this work. You sacrifice. You get out. And you can't even find a job that can take care of your car note that you might have or may not have. Can't take care of your living arrangements. You're not living with your mom or dad. You're outside the house. You're paying rent somewhere, which on average, just my guess, because I know what I charge or we charge, but your rent is every bit of $1,100, $1,200, $1,500 for rent. And let's be for real, there's a lot of places that your rent is $2,000. $2,100. And you living with a group of people in a 4-bedroom, 3-bedroom house. You just got a room, sharing bathrooms. Like, this is what we're dealing with today's economy, today's market. It is not the same. It has changed. It is changing. They always state that one thing for certain is that things will always change. And that is a fact. No question about it. So you go, you get an education, you get out, you go get a job, you take a job that to get you in the door, and it doesn't take care of the bills. It does not pay the bills. You got the overhead, you got the student loans, you got your mortgage, you got your car. You might have a child that you got to take care of. You might have a sick mother or a sick father that you got to take care of. These are all the responsibilities that Americans are dealing with right now. And guess what? You're in fear or terrified that you might get laid off. Think about this. This is how bad it is. Some people's situations are better, some are worse. But this is what the American people are dealing with. It is bad. It is a disaster. So what we need to do is look at it from several perspectives. You can't always look at things from your perspective of what you're dealing with. Like, there are people out here really dealing with some issues. And so, guess what? You might have had that friend that you thought that might not have been so smart, might not have been as bright, may not have been, your valedictorian. But guess what? That person decided to go to trade school. That person decided to take up his father or his mother's business that was already in business. And we're just going to talk about this in general. Like, establishing a business is a lot more than just the business itself. There's so many tax breaks. There's so many incentives. Yes, there's a lot of work. Yeah, there's a lot of, risk. There's a lot of ups and downs. But guess what? You might better pass it on to your child. You might have been successful with the first generation. It might have been successful with the second generation. But that third generation it might be the opportunity for them to flourish. So think about this. But check this out. That person went to trade school, got a plumbing license. They end up getting a electrical license. They went and got a license to where they can work on boats, a marine license. They might have went into real estate or whatever the case may be. But they didn't go to a 4-year institution and get all of the debt. They got done before you did. They start working before you did. They created a book of business before you did. Their overhead not as high as yours. And guess what? Now they got a book of business. They're financially stable. Or may not be financially stable, they might be in a better position. Their production is based off of what they decide to put out or not. Their job is not necessarily on a chopping block by an employer. And they just made a decision earlier in life. Because here's the deal. Sometimes it's about being in the game longer. Longevity. Being able to survive longer. Being able to start before somebody else does. It's like a bank account. If you put that one penny inside that bank account, or that 5 sitting in that bank account, and it draws this little bit of interest over time, if you did it 5 years ago, it's better than you doing it yesterday. Put that in perspective. So they started before you did. They don't have as much overhead. They got a license that can go from state to state or within their state. And they're doing better than you are right now. And that's a harsh reality. I have peers, friends, one specifically that's a CPA, busts his chops. I remember he took every exam one time. There's 4 pieces to it. Passed them all with 90 percentile or higher. He was disciplined. I barely even got a chance to talk to him. We talked to him before work, after work, before studying, after he got done studying. And he did that for about a year and got done with his CPA license. Worked for a Fortune 500 company, actually 2 of them, and is doing great right now. But guess what? He probably don't make as much money as the plumber, as the electrician. Not even close. Or it could be the barber. It could be the cosmetologist. Let that sink in. So the long answer is college worth it? I don't really think it is. I have a master's degree in accounting. I have enough credits to sit for the CPA exam. I have a lot of skills. Is it really worth it? Not really, ultimately. Is it worth the headache? Not really, maybe. I'd rather sit here and talk to you. Help you out. Help you not make mistakes that I made. Because I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. I learn from them. And I try to pass the baton so you don't make the same mistake. And then guess what? In some cases, I had to find out myself because I was the first one to do some of the things that I've done. I didn't have a mentor. Let's just talk about mentors. There are really good mentors out here that can help you not bump your head the way I have and others. So you're never too smart or too intelligent or too knowledgeable of any topic to not listen to somebody that can give you some guidance. And that's it for today on is college worth it? In my opinion, no. Do you want to be a physician? Okay, maybe that requires it. An attorney? Hey, some attorneys don't make any money. IT, database, networking. You have all these different professions and careers. Everyone has a place, a value. But is it worth the debt, the overhead of education added for your institution or to your institution? I don't know. But I'm done. I really appreciate you all here. This is Terrence Bronson. Go ahead first. Like, subscribe, forward, leave some comments, give me some feedback. Really appreciate you all. You've helped me get the live feature on YouTube. This is exciting. I'm pumped. Let's move forward. Let's be positive. Let's overcome those obstacles. Go ahead first. Have a blessed day.